Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Willow's Witchy Den with myself and my lovely co-host, my sister Drew. So, obviously, we're going to introduce ourselves first, then we're going to get into the topic of our show tonight, guys. So, sis, if you want to introduce yourself quickly, then I will do myself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Drew. My name is also Athena, which is my witchy name. I am a spiritual advisor and a paranormal educator. My channel is Drew's Scottish Vlogs. I also do some paranormal on there, some witchy shows, some support shows. And now that the spring and summer's coming along, I'll do some paranormal. So, yeah, check me out, guys, if it's something you're interested in.
And I'm obviously Willow, also known as Sherry. I'm from PWI Spiritual Investigators. I do paranormal, I do witchcraft, I am a practicing Celtic Druid shaman, and I'm also an educator, an influencer and uplifter to the community as well, guys, with lots of abilities. So really excited to be here tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about a very well known and very famous place that's known to be haunted and have a lot of activity, from paranormal to UFOs to even cryptids such as skinwalkers and so on. So tonight we're going to be talking about Skinwalker Ranch, one of the most known places and one of the most recorded haunted places that is actually studied and researched by scientists because of its strange activity. So we're going to be doing a lot of talking about the ranch today. I've got numerous bits of information and research that myself and my producer that is helping me to get my show on the road it needs to be. We've been getting content and stuff together for you guys. So it will start off with me explaining about Skinwalker Ranch. Then it'll go over to my sister Drew to give you a little bit of information about different experiments and stuff that they've done. And then I hang on a minute. Yeah, I was echoing. Sorry, guys. So yeah, we're going. Sister Drew's going to talk about the science that's done there. We're going to take a short couple of minutes break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some videos and pause them and talk to you guys about what we think of the videos, get your explanations and what you think. And then we will do a little short discussion at the end and we'll end the show. So I don't want to leave it too much longer. So we'll start off with the content that I got, which is part two. So just let me, part one, sorry. Let me just get that up. So, if anybody doesn't know what Skinwalker Ranch is, here's some history and information about the ranch so that you have a bit of an understanding of what comes from it. What is Skinwalker Ranch and what's really going on there? Did you know that one of the most uniquely mysterious places in the world is right in Utah? Rumors of the UFO and extraterrestrial beings have been swirling around this area for years. But despite the stories, no hard evidence has ever been released to show what's really going on there. In fact, the world may never know. But enough is enough. The big U2 claw outside of Lovell and Aquarium. Let's talk about Utah. Second most mysterious site, Skinwalker Ranch, located in the Uinta Basin. This paranormal hotspot boasts claims of flying saucers, mysterious lights, unknown illness, shape-shifting monsters, and just about everything else you could think of. It's so well known, in fact, there have been several books written about the property, and it's even the subject of history and a channel show. But just how did this patch of land in eastern Utah gain worldwide notoriety? and how many of its strange stories are worth believing? The first question is easy to answer, but we'll let you make up your mind on the second one. History of Skinwalker Ranch. The Utes and the Navajo, the earliest known inhabitants of the land, played a big part in its ominous name. The property lies on land traditionally inhabited by the Ute tribe, but the term skinwalker comes from Navajo legend and translates to by means of it, it goes on all fours. In Navajo culture, skinwalkers are evil witches with the ability to shapeshift into animals or human. The skinwalker legend is not well understood outside the Navajo culture, but what little is known about it by the outside is enough to inspire scary stories of all varieties. One such story involves the Ute tribe. The legend goes that during a time of hostility between Ute and Navajo, members of the Navajo decided to unleash skinwalkers upon their enemies, and those skinwalkers still stalk the land today. The shamans, the idea of shape-shifting witches in the present day Uinta Basin might be hard for some to believe, but not for shaman families who purchased the ranch in 1994 with the intentions of settling down and relaxing in their new country home. If that sounds like the beginning of a horror movie, it's for a good reason. The shaman family experienced a lot of spooky goings on during their time at the ranch, most notably with something matching the descriptions of a skinwalker. One night, the shaman heard a noise outside a wolf in his yard, one much larger than any he had ever seen. Terry grabbed his gun from inside and shot at the wolf several times, but his bullets appeared to do no damage whatsoever. Although the wolf did take off eventually, its tracks disappeared entirely as Terry chased it, as if it had simply vanished into thin air. Could it have been an ancient skinwalker that scared them that night? One thing for certain, it was far from the only scare that the shaman got during their time there. During their years at the ranch, they reported seeing various kinds of flashing lights and mysterious objects in the sky, strange circles in their fields, mysterious voices floating overhead, and countless cattle mutilation. Done a lot of research and study into this. Me and Sister Drew actually did look into these sort of things, and it was quite disturbing. Unlike those families in horror movies, the shamans decided to bump the property before it was too late. They sold the ranch in 1996, just 2 years after they had bought it. Robert Bigelow and NIDSCI, who would be stupid enough to buy a haunted ranch, someone with a lot of money who's into the kind of thing. Of course, any boy was Robert Bigelow. Into the kind of thing. Just a year earlier, in 1995, he had founded the National Institute for Discovery Science to fund research on UFOs and the paranormal. The Shaman's Nightmare Ranch was Bigelow's playground, and in 1996, the historic millionaire bought Skinwalker Ranch and made it a research hub of the NID science. Of course, one of the main points that skeptics will make about skinwalkers is that most of the evidence of paranormal accounts comes from the shamans who sold their ranch to a millionaire known for his interest in UFO research. Could they have faked cow mutilation and invented tails, wolves, men to enjoy Bigelow or another buyer. Some rumors that go, but there's been a lot of people that have said that they've gone to this place and before it was to public, and they've said that they've had a lot of really weird experiences. People have not felt well after being on the ground. It is a very strange place, but obviously it would have to be a place that you would have to visit and find out for yourself, obviously. It's an interesting theory. However, the shamans didn't exactly milk Bigelow for all he was worth. They sold the ranch for around $200,000, which was an average price for a home in that day, and certainly a low one for a 500-acre ranch. Their behaviour seemed less in line with people trying to turn a profit and more like folk who were trying to get the heck out of the Dodge. So what did Bigelow and the NID science find? Well, if they found any definitive world-changing evidence of UFOs or alien light themselves, what they did find that we know of was much the same as the shamans. The NID science researchers have shared stories of mysterious creatures with otherworldly eyes that shone through the dark. They also found cattle mutilations, including one in less than an hour after they had seen the cow alive and healthy. This was also noteworthy because though it had been almost completely disembodied. The NDI science stories definitely add to the mysteries of Skinwalker, but with years of research and millions in funding, you might expect something more. Well, the lack of evidence could serve as evidence itself. On many occasions, their expensive audio and visual equipment failed to capture what several eyewitnesses had clearly seen, from large mysterious animals to flying orbs in the sky. We had, in some research and studying, we'd actually found some videos, me and Sister Drew, where it did actually show some of these orbs, like objects flying in the sky. They'd done an experiment in the mound that's on Skinwalker Ranch, and they found some sort of metal material that is not linked to our world, and it's in a shape of what would be like a UFO. So they're kind of guessing what it could be, but it's given off really weird readings and numbers and calculations, which something from our world would not be able to do this, apparently. So we have found some stuff, but there's a new owner to the ranch now, so a lot of the evidence that we're wanting to be able to share with you, we can't anymore because he's removed it all. So we're only going by what we could get. So NID Science disbodied in 2004, but maintained ownership of the property until 2016. When Skinwalker finally did change hands, it was passed off to a group that would experience a lot of the same anomalies and frustration as NID Science. Brandon Fugal and the History Channel. In 2006, Bigelow sold the ranch to a buyer who wished to remain anonymous for a whopping 4 years. Brandon Fugal and Utah Real Estate Mogul announced in 2020 that he was the mysterious owner and that the History Channel would be recording a reality TV show on the property titled The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. The show properties Fugal attempt to bring scientific approaches to the mysterious surrounding the ranch, surrounded by a team of experts in range of scientific disciplines, as well as a guy named Dragon. Fugal seeked answers to the questions that he and countless others have asked over the years. If it sounds a lot like NID science, that's because it is. Reality TV just wasn't as popular in 1996. Like so many investigators before them, the current occupants of Skinwalker Ranch have found more questions than answers. Why does electronic equipment seem to malfunction on the ranch? Why have so many occupants reported unexplained illness? Why does the indescribable feelings of strangeness they feel on the ranch seem to follow them home? Why is there a grown man named Dragon? Did he give himself that nickname? Does he make his friends call him Dragon all the time? The search for answers continues. Our local tales. The inhabitants of Skinwalker Ranch may have reported slightly different stories over the years, but they have a few things in common. They are hard to shake. Most notable is the strong conviction that what they seeing is the real deal, and it's a convention shared by many in the area. Since the 1950s, there have been hundreds of reports of UFOs and unexplained phenomena in Unita Basin, and not just a Skinwalker neighbor of the ranch reported seeing various types of bright lights in the sky, often appearing as a shape that looks like a doorway or a portal. Others reported giant flying objects. Cattle mutilations are common too. Some neighbors have reported seeing cows that appeared to have been struck by lightning with no sign of scorch earth to be found. One group shared a story of trying to spot UFOs one night, only to return and find their car had been moved without a trace or tire track in the desert sand. Perhaps most horrifying, however, is the story of a group of History Channel production assistants who have to get coffee for Dragon every day. So what's really going on? There are plenty of theories as to what is going on over Skinwalker Ranch. You've guessed it. Some of them are pretty out there, but something definitely is going on. So what's the harm in venturing and to guess? Is it all for money? Is it a scam to make money? Some do wonder this a lot. Are out of this world visitors, aka interdimensional beings or extraterrestrials, visiting this area or even living there? Experiments have been carried out that show strange activity from objects that can't be explained. Geophysical process causing the brain to hallucinate. Are there so much experiments that it causes activity and affects humans when close? It's real and it's haunted. Some say it's haunted by a lot of history, and the past and the present activity is very real and is experienced by many who have visited the ranch. Can you visit Skinwalker Ranch? Since the ranch is on private property, you can't visit without being invited by the owners. We don't recommend trying to sneak in either, because their head security is pretty tough. We don't say who it is, but the name rhymes with dragon. If you're interested in a UFO sighting of your own, there's a campground site that advertises UFO-themed ATV tours that are the closest you can legally get. Otherwise, you can try your luck for UFO spotting at one of the state parks in Unita Basin, like Steenaker Starvation Reservoir or Redflint State Park. Will you see flying saucers or mysterious lights as you stare up at the night sky? We can't make any promises, but we can promise that on a trip to the Unita Basin, you'll explore more amazing scenery, meet lots of friendly folk, and behold a breathtaking blanket of stars with or without UFOs. Because there are theories who or whoever is visiting Skinwalker Ranch is doing. So because Utah isn't just the best tourist destination in the world, it's the best tourist destination in any world. Skinwalker Ranch, also known as the Shaman or the Gorman Ranch, occupies around 680 acres in Uintah County, Utah, and is best set by reports of paranormal activity. The property borders the Utah Indian Reservation and is eerie. Its eerie reputation dates back to native folklore amongst the tribes there. Our beliefs that the area has been tormented for hundreds of years by non-human shape-shifting beings called skinwalkers. To the Utes, the site is cursed, known as the Path of the Skinwalker. In 1994, Terry and Gwen Sharman purchased the property in hopes of establishing a cattle ranch there. The couple first encountered with the paranormal come on the day they moved their furniture into the new home. As they worked, a large wolf appeared in the nearby cow pasture. The animals seemed strangely untroubled by the shaman's presence. Then, as quickly as it had come, the wolf bit it to the leg of the calf. Terry grabbed his rifle and shot the animal at close range, but the wolf was unfazed. Terry shot again, then again, yet the creature remained standing. When the smoke finally cleared, the animal simply trooped away and no trace of blood. The family would wake up to find crop circles scorched into grounds near the home. Groceries were mysteriously repacked and reorganized throughout their kitchen. Once, after a set of balls went missing, Terry discovered the animals crammed into a disused trailer in a seemingly hypnotized state. Another time, Terry what he believed to be a RV pull into the driveway. As he approached, the vehicle off the ground and flew away. Disembodied voices chattered at the family in strange languages. Cows reportedly vanished, only to turn up killed and mutilated. After chasing a floating orb of light, a trio of ranch dogs disappeared into the night. Needless to say, the shamans did not find the ranch a particularly welcoming place. Every family member had troubles. In the morning, the shamans awoke and discussed their identical dreams to ease their minds. The family began sleeping together in the main room of the house. Luckily, after just 2 years, the shaman offered a deal they were only too happy to accept. In 1996, they sold their land and left the property for good. Just who'd be interested in purchasing such a mysterious place? Robert Bigelow, founder of National Institute for Discovery Science, NID Science, a privately funded and non-refunded research organizer of ufology and the paranormal. So that is part one of my bit done. So now Sister Drew will do her little bit and I'll read part two of this. Then we'll go for a break and then we will be getting the videos up and having a discussion about that. So over to Sister Drew.
Hello everybody. Yeah, so I'd watched a few of the programs and things on Skinwalker Ranch a few years ago. So I'm really coming from a place where I've been watching it on the television. So when I first started watching it, I'd started to see that they had been doing a lot of experiments there just to see what kind of communication they could get with anything that was around, and also to take some readings of the environment.
Right, it's coming up, sis. Hang on. The new owner is doing great research, but hardly releasing anything. That's no surprise. None of them wanted to release anything to do with that place, to be honest. Carry on, sis. Sorry.
See, the thing is, there's kind of two investigations go on there. So you've got the alien stuff and the OAP stuff and things that goes on, but you've also got the spirit side of it. So I believe that they do link up in a certain way.
Yeah.
So you've got all the experiments that the guys
Oh
do
yeah,
to
definitely.
to do the readings and things. So what they had done was they had sent. There's a piece in the ranch that's like a triangle, and it sits right down next to the.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they even call it. They call it like it's like the big part of the. It's like a big rock. Essentially, it's a big rock. So they do experiments.
They like the mound. The mound.
Yeah, the mound. Yeah, the mound. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, they do experiments in the mound. So the triangle is right outside the mound. So they've sent up a couple of rockets and things through time, and it's as if the rockets hit a certain part and then they can't go any further. They have to split off, which indicates that there's something there. So last year they had done some more experiments with trying to fly drones and things up so the drones could take pictures. They've sent up, say, 50 drones for talk's sake. About 30 of them all fell back down to the ground. So through what footage and things that they could get off the drones, they found that there was like a cone shaped that goes up, and they do call it a wormhole. So a wormhole is something that can take you from one part of the universe to the other part, and they've done experiments and things to see if that was true. So they sent up some drones and things of their own, and when they sent up the drone, it looked as if it totally went to a different part of the mound. So basically what it had done was it had went through one of the wormholes. And if you watch it on, it's actually, I'm quite surprised that they put this all on the programme, because, you know, guys, they try and hide a lot of it. So so basically, through doing that, they know now that there is like wormholes and things just above Skinwalker Ranch. So that leaves an open portal to absolutely anything coming in from above. But guys, also remember they do experiments to go below. So they've done experiments as well to ground penetrating radar and things to see if they can find any anomalies down below. And they've also found out as well that much like the wormholes above, there's also things that like that under the ground as well. So that makes it not only open to above for things coming in, but also below. So think about it. That means that all your spirits, all your entities and things can come in at any point in time. So can you imagine just how busy Skinwalker Ranch really is with all these different entities coming in? I believe
there'd be a lot of energy.
Yeah, I believe that down below, when the ones that's on the bottom, and not even on the bottom, even where they're standing and things, there's open portals for things to come and go all the time. So it's definitely.
But they'd also done something as well, sis. Do you remember that thing we watched? They'd been digging in this area and they hit something metal. So but it was that far down they couldn't get it up. So they'd done these radiation and readings, and they put these lasers into the ground, and it was able to map out a massive round circle cylinder thing in the ground, really deep.
So is that where all the radiation problems come from? Sorry.
Yeah. Carry on.
So it makes you wonder if that's where all the radiation problems and things come from. I mean, I know the cows and things that's been found mutilated. I do believe that that's going to be entities and things that is drawing whatever they can out. Maybe even a couple of different entities using the cow for whatever they need. But yeah, it was definitely interesting that time where you seen the UAP above and you seen the cow just totally change character. It was amazing. So there's so much, but it's actually quite disappointing for the amount of time that they have been researching there, just how little information is out there.
They'd also found some of their machinery in the top of trees. How did machinery get in the top of trees? Do you remember that as well? They had that machinery in the tree as well, and they couldn't work out how it got up there.
Not there. It's just so crazy. So that suggests that there's something whirling around and throwing things about. Either that, or it shows that things are getting thrown down from above. there's just so much theories out there, I think, that they don't want to put too much for you to connect the dots.
They do say that they think that there's ley lines that run all underneath that place, which is another reason for the activity as well, which is why it's calling in the UFO energy and it's calling in the extraterrestrial, it's calling in spirit and other entities and things that are attached to that land, because it's got that energy in it already. It calls it. It's a portal. It's like a massive portal that's just constantly open.
It's like Spaghetti Junction. It's just a pure. It's probably, when you think about it, it's probably a stop-off point for some of them as well. Who knows? We can't see. You know, it's all in.
Well, there are rumours. There are rumours that some of the extraterrestrial live under the ground of the Skinwalker Ranch. They've got theories that they're living under there, which could be the reason to why this massive object is implanted in the ground.
Definitely.
You know, like,
yeah.
It is a very strange place, definitely, and very interesting.
That's probably why when they do as much experiments as well, that most 90% of the time they fail, because the entities and things don't want you to interrupt what they've got going on. Obviously, the mound is some sort of energetic thing for them to use as energy, or that's where they're staying. It's in the mound.
Exactly, and it's like you were saying about the experiments. They've done those ones with the rocket, right? They've done the ones with like the drones, but before that, they'd done an experiment with rockets. They'd made these little rockets that they were trying to set off, and these rockets flew up to this object, and you could see that they were blatantly bouncing off of something that you could not see that was within that area. You'd see them just ping off like they're hitting something.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And
tried to do it along as
fascinating.
Well. And it hits something.
They've done picture things as well, haven't they? They've done like mapping of the land, and there's all these weird portal shapes coming out the ground in the mapping, like these weird shaped energy.
Yeah, it's definitely
me and Sister Drew done a lot of research into the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, it's an amazing place, guys. It really is.
My partner's fine, thank you. Eli.
Hi, brother Eli. I can't see the comments.
It's an interesting one. It is an
right there, we're back. Hi, brother Eli.
I always so excited. Got sis.
I'm just saying it's an interesting place now that I've seen with what you read out, that they're going to be doing tours. Do you imagine going on a tour of Skinwalker
outside
Ranch?
of it? They're not letting too many people in. You'd have to ask permission for that, but they're doing tours that are just on the outside of it, which would just be just as active, I would think.
Yeah. You would feel the energy, of course, as well.
So, sis, is there anything else that you've got to say?
No, that was it. Thanks.
Right, okay. So I'll get on to my chapter 2, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll get on to the videos, which are actually 2 people that are from the shaman communities, different communities, and one of them does YouTube, and they've got some really interesting theories on skinwalkers and other stuff like that. So now I'm going to talk to you about the history of like the weird creatures that are on the property. Skinwalkers is one of them. So what are skinwalkers? Originating from Navajo Dain folklore, a skinwalker is a malevolent witch capable of transforming into possessing of disguising themselves as an animal or a human, also called a yi. Nalda so shy. The phrase translates to "with it, he goes on all fours." A person becomes a skinwalker by communicating a heinous act like killing a family member that gives them supernatural powers, allowing them to shapeshift from a human to an animal at will. They often become coyotes, wolves, foxes, or bears, though they can take the form of any animal. Skinwalkers and bad fortune. In the Navajo culture are often to blame when things go wrong, such as illness, misfortune, or unexplained deaths. The reason is that skinwalkers are witches who can manipulate and harm through dark magic. Therefore, when something out there of the ordinary or unexpected happens, like crop failures, people take it to be the work of skinwalkers. Here's a few defining characteristics and abilities of skinwalkers. They can transform into various animals such as wolves or coyotes. They'll change forms depending on their needs. For example, if they need immense strength, they might become a bear. Skinwalkers assume their roles voluntarily. It's not a curse like being a werewolf. Supernatural speed, they move at incredibly fast speed. Mimicry, they can imitate human voices or animal sounds to deceive others. Mind control, they influence or control the thoughts of others. Cursing, they can cast harmful spells or curses upon a person. They have physical strength, they have superhuman strength, they have glowing eyes. According to legend, you can tell if you're in the presence of a skinwalker by their eyes. If you shine a light on one, they were in animal form, their eyes glow bright red. In human form, their eyes seem animal-like. Becoming a skinwalker. People become communicating tattoos, acts such as murder, often of a close relative, as part of a dark intention into witchery way. This transformation involves mastering the use of dark magic, including shapeshifting and casting curses to harm others. The witchery way is a form of Navajo witchcraft that focuses on malevolent practices. Contrasting with the healing, use these powers for personal gain or revenge. How to detect a skinwalker. Detecting a skinwalker is challenging because of their ability to shapeshift and to blend with the surroundings that they're in. However, some believe that unusual animal behaviors, such as animals acting untrawnly or with glowing eyes, can be a sign of skinwalkers. They may also move unnatural or distorted ways, even when in human form. Additionally, skinwalkers may cause feelings of intense fear or unease when they are near. People often associate hearing voices or animal sounds mimicking humans with the presence of a skinwalker. The Ute tribe steer clear of the ranch. The Utah and the Ouray Indian Reservation in the home of Ute tribe. At one time, the Ute enslaved some of the Navajo people and also joined with USA troops against the Navajo during the Civil War. The results was the Navajo were expelled from their lands in the Four Corner areas, though they returned later. The Ute believed the Navajo put a curse on them and left shapeshifters amongst them because of their vile deeds. This is why allegedly the Ute will not go near Skinwalker Ranch. Previous owners of the ranch have reported strange occurrences. Fugal said he bought a cattle ranch in 2016, not believing he would see anything unusual. 6 months later, he saw UFO activity in broad daylight. In the present state of curse, Skinwalker Ranch isn't necessarily known for witches. Rather, it's a place where people people see flying saucers. In a 1975 piece of Bioscience, planet physiologist Frank Salisbury claimed to have found hundreds of UFO reports originating from Utah and nearby areas, each one wider than the last. These weird happenings continued after Salisbury published his findings. Two. In 1978, for example, the Discreet News wrote that a few separate individuals had seen an unearthly metallic aircraft floating in the air above them. That some decade, a man named Ray Kesley claimed he and 250 other people witnessed a UFO hovering over oil rigs. Kesley says this very ring later exploded, according to the script, and the bosses told their men to hush up about it and not say anything. Perhaps the most bizarre story of all comes from Paul Pedersen, a businessman who claimed to have encountered a flying saucer in 1964 while driving home near Salt Lake. He spotted humanoid figures in the window, highlighted by a ethereal green light, and these aliens telepathically asked him to burn up with it. Pedersen answered in his mind, not aloud, by thinking about his wife and kids and how he couldn't leave them behind. Eventually, the extraterrestrials were okay with the abuse. They flew back to the mountains. Hey, those are some nice aliens. Beaming up cows of things. It's easy to crack wise. However, that the Sharman family found themselves in this regard was no laughing matter. And this is written by 1966, 4 of the family's prized cows, an important part of their income, mutilated in various brutal ways that you don't want to hear about. When Terry Sharman asked other ranchers about this insanity, they confirmed that their own cattle had been mutilated and that authorities hadn't been able to. An article in the same paper reported an even more frightening cattle incident that occurred on March the 10th, 1977. On that morning, less than an hour after a healthy 84 was tagged, the animal corpse was found in the middle of the field in broad daylight, with all of the blood drained from its body. According to those of the scene, there was no blood in the field, no blood in the dirt, and nothing in the calf itself. Perpetrator was, the things being done to those cows were sickeningly unhuman and inhumane, and there's still no good explanation as to why it's happened. The Utes have hated the Navajo tribe for enslaving their people for so long, eventually placed a curse over the land, which is ranch. In fact, the Utes put a curse on the land that supposedly caused skinwalkers to begin to inhabit the area. But what is a skinwalker? A skinwalker is a type of evil witch that is part of the Navajo culture. The skinwalker is a mythical beast used in many Navajo folklore that is known for its abilities to take the form of any animal. This creature is best described as a shapeshifter. Since the Navajo tribe have long feared these creatures, the Utes used the curse as a means of relation for many years. The Navajo kept the native Ute people as slaves. The Utes also cursed the water. According to Utes' beliefs, water was full of even more credibility of this curse on the waterways when we look at the multiple records of mysterious lights and balls-shaped objects, unidentified and seemingly appearing out of nowhere, that to have crashed into the bodies of water found near Skinwalker Ranch. Other strange things have supposedly been seen at Skinwalker Ranch as well. Multiple UFO sightings have been reported in some of these cases. The UFOs have been reported to only be visible a few seconds and traveling at speed that would potentially be deadly to humans. Obviously, there's also been paranormal activity and stuff that's been reported there, seeing masses, seeing movements, seeing energy, getting a lot of readings on plea. There is so much stuff that those people have got behind those walls, okay? And there's a lot of it they're not letting out. Now, I've seen little snippets, just as Sister Drew has, where we've seen videos that clearly show evidence that there are unflying objects actually working within the ranch, even if they're not seen properly. There has definitely been light anomalies found. There's been a lot of paranormal activity gone there, things moving around, people being touched, voices. That place has got everything strange connected to it. It would be an investigator's, a adventure channel's haven to go and see.
Definitely.
Not without being a little bit mysterious about all the legend, obviously, but it's something I've always found fascinating. What do you think, sis?
I wonder if they sign NDAs that they're not allowed to talk about it when they leave the ranch, because there's multiple people work there, so they
have
probably
to keep a lot of what they do secret.
Yeah, probably. See, I think that they do know that it's some sort of big portal. Obviously, it's got wormholes for things to come in from the universe back and forward. And it's also got portals under the ground for things to come in back and forward. And then on this realm, it's probably the buzz site for everything. You know, people fall no well on there. They can't handle the energy. So there's definitely radiation, or there's that much EMF that it makes you sick.
It does. Imagine what evidence they found that they will never release to the public. Yeah, exactly, Laurie. And I bet you they have got a lot. You can't possibly be part of a place like that and not be getting anything. You can't, because it's just so active and there's so much stuff that shows things there. Why we're getting anything? And
they tell you enough to keep
you know. I just wish that was a place I could go to visit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think somebody else. Hang on. True. I believe some people on the show had radiation poisoning. Yes, I'd heard that as well, that some people got radiation poisoning.
Yeah,
so, one guy got some weird mass that appeared on the back of his head, and he had to have a head scan. That just from being on top of this hill and speaking. There's quite a lot of things that happen to people. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Definitely some mysterious stuff going on there. It's a place that you would need to go and visit and experience for yourself to be truly 100% there. But in my opinion, there's just too much evidence and too much stuff there for there not to be anything wrong with that place. There's just too much.
So what do we think is there then?
Is it really an interesting place?
What do we think is actually there?
I do believe that there is extraterrestrial energy there. I do believe that they are surrounded by extraterrestrial energy. They can hide and they can disguise themselves so they're not seen. And so they can with their objects as well, camouflaging and hiding them and stuff, a bit like what the Fae do, you know, where they block seeing things. So definitely UFO and extraterrestrial. I do believe there's probably some weird cryptid or creepy monster, something there. There's got to be with all the legends. Do I believe in the skinwalkers? Possibly. I think that there could be. Paranormal, definitely believe there's spirit there, without doubt.
For sure. Because the different portals and things that's there, I mean, just even going to Google and Google it yourself, there's got to be probably every type of entity coming and going there. For your normal spirits, to your shadow men, to your aliens, cryptids, to everything really.
That's what I'm saying. It would be a paranormal investigator's heaven, because it's got everything.
Everything
you wouldn't need to go anywhere else.
And remember, the land is mad. Yeah, it's mad. So they probably have got all their own little corners of the place, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Hello, peoples. Hello, Bud Files. Really good to see you. Please go and look over the show that you've not seen so far.
Yeah,
hope you're well.
Man.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to put some accepted music onto the panel. We're going to put a little banner up. We're going to go for a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys. So if you need a drink or you need to go to the toilet, do that now, guys. And when we're back, we will be seeing some videos and putting some views on that, guys. So until then, we'll see you very soon. Blessed be.
See you in a minute.
See you soon, guys. Welcome back, guys. I hope that you got to have your break, and I will get that stuff sorted, sis, for the your comment bits.
Perfect.
Right, so we are back, guys. So we're going to keep continuing to do Skinwalker runs. So now I'm going to be showing some videos that my researcher and producer helped me to get. So these are really interesting. As I said before earlier, they are some videos that are from some native people. One of them does have a YouTube channel and is a younger guy. Then you've got an older guy, so he's more of the elder type of person. So they've all got like distinctions on what they believe like the skinwalkers are and about the powers and the magic and the energy. Do take some of what is said how you want to. Not all of us are going to believe in everything that they're saying because we have different beliefs, but this is just simply bordered on what him and his tribe has experienced with these beings and what they believe it comes from, guys. You know, they don't mean anything evil or nasty towards us. It's just their beliefs because of their experiences. So I will state that to you guys. So you choose to believe what you think, and obviously you know who you are as people. So that's all I'm going to say. So if we start with the first video, which is of the young guy, that would be awesome.
I'll mute.
Video, please.
You can see it loading.
Episode of Sean Clinton Shadow Productions. So this one's gonna be a little bit different from my niche, but not really different from who I am. So this one's gonna be a different segue into my paranormal side of my channel. So this is gonna be the very first episode I'm gonna be going over, and I have to say I have seen a lot of misinformation out there about the subject I'm going to be covering. I've been traveling on the YouTubes, the TikToks, the Instagrams, and I've been seeing a lot of videos about how people try to tell stories about skinwalkers.
Here, for example, in this video, we see a skinwalker who has taken on the form of a man.
Oh, hey neighbor.
In fact, skinwalkers are basically wizards who've killed their loved ones.
Now, I know a lot of you out there have heard stories or even claimed to have seen a skinwalker in their lives. And I have to say that maybe like 80% of you are wrong. Let me explain. So, I know a lot of word has been spread across the United States, across all Turtle Island, and even the world about skinwalkers and the lores and the legends of it. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. They get some things right here and there, but I noticed that they miss a lot of stuff. And, you know, I honestly don't blame them. You know, it's a hot topic. They're not from these lands, and so they do their best to get what they can from Google and do the research online. And so I'm here to set the story straight. And now I know on our previous channel, Unearthing the Supernatural, we've kind of covered this subject a lot. But here I'm going to do it officially on my channel. So, where does the Skinwalker come from? Where does the Yanagloshi come from? Where do they hail? Where do they live? Hell, might even know what they eat. Just kidding. But Skinwalkers and Yanagloshis originate from the Navajo Nation. Hundreds of years ago, medicinal people used to go to our four sacred mountains that border the Navajo Nation. 2 in Colorado, 1 in Arizona, and 1 in New Mexico. Now, these medicinal people would have to traverse the land very quickly to be able to do this ceremony within a couple days. So, the spiritual people taught these medicinal men how to shapeshift, how to turn into animals, how to turn into deer, how to turn into coyote, how to turn into hawks. And so they use this power to be able to traverse the land for good, to do really good medicinal ceremonies, to be able to help patients. And in that old sacred way, they used to do this. But to be able to learn how to shapeshift was a very, very, very hard task and was not easy to do. So what people used to have to do, they used to spend years of their life learning the songs, going through ceremonies to be able to learn how to shapeshift into these animals. Now, there's a lot of people that were out there that were like, man, this is taking too long. I can't do this. I can't stick with this. Now, when that happened, evil and darkness heard their voice as well, heard their prayers, searching for an easier way to do this. Darkness and evil said,
Pause it.
I know how to make you shapeshift real easy, but there's a couple things that you have to do.
Right, so at the minute, they're just talking about how they believe like wizards, witches, people that in the craft are able to use dark magic to bring form and to be able to turn into animals and other types of human. But not quite looking like what we would look like. Sometimes they can take form of human form as well, as you see in one of the videos in that just a minute ago. They are said to be very dangerous. They bring bad luck, and they're really not very nice creatures to be around. They can bring a lot of trouble and danger to you and to your family as well. So they are shapeshifters, meaning that they can go from a human form into an animal to be able to get to places quicker, to be able to reach these destinations quicker. A lot of the time when they take these forms is because they're actually trying to get to a location to present rituals and other things to bring out their energy more. So I just thought that I'd give you a little bit of a description on what he's talking about here, and that they can take different animal forms such as bears and foxes, wolves, coyotes. They are known to take other animals as well, but these are normally the sort of ones that they would. Deer as well is another one. So that's just a little bit of information. You could have the video back up again, please.
To be able to obtain this power. So some people were just like, well, what do you have to do? There's certain steps and ceremonies you have to do to be able to learn how to shapeshift the way we do. First off, you have to sacrifice a loved one, an immediate loved one. Whether that be your lover, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, or your child, or your grandparents. Somebody that you love and hold close and dear to your heart. You'd have to take them out into the reservation, into the darkness, and you would have to sacrifice them to be able to first step and to obtain this power. Now I know this is really dark, this is really gruesome, but this is a truth of how Yanagloshi has become to be. So there's some other steps that you have to take that I'm not going to actually disclose to you, because a lot of that is very gruesome, and I'm not going to go into detail because a lot of it we're going to keep sacred here. But once you complete all these tasks, you're able to learn how to shapeshift into evil and darkness. Now, a lot of things that everyone seems to forget is where these skinwalkers come from. The Navajo Nation itself holds a lot of sacred power within its borders, and a lot of songs and ceremonies that tie into the mountains, the land, the sky, and its geological point where it's at. So a lot of times, if you were to be a skinwalker, you draw power from the natural landscape that you're at. Now, am I saying that there couldn't be a possibility of a skinwalker leaving the Navajo Nation? No. If they're really pretty high skilled enough to be able to leave the Navajo Nation, say go to the East Coast or learn how to shapeshift over there, use the mountain terrain over there and everything. Yes, it's possible, but very, very unlikely. So what are some of the traits of a skinwalker? What are the things they can and cannot do? Can they turn into an elephant? Yeah, maybe, but you know, they have to go and hunt and kill an elephant, wear its skin, and do the whole ceremony. Yes, they can turn into animals, they can shapeshift into anything, almost anything really, but they would have to be able to kill the animal, skin it, mark it up with its markings and designs, put it through its own ceremonies and rituals to be able to prep it to be able to be worn and shapeshift into. Now, I've seen a lot of videos of people out there saying like their dog, you know, looks weird, or there's, you know, all these other things like a poodle or something small. To be honest, Skinwalker is not going to skin a poodle, put it on its back, and be able to shapeshift into it. It's possible, but you know, it's going to be very hard to be able to shrink down to that size. Typically, the coyote, the buck, the wolf are the main skins that were readily available in the Navajo Nations. So there's also the bear, the mountain lion as well, but those are sacred animals, and a lot of times those themselves could not be changed into the darkness, so you rarely see those being able to be used in skinwalker regalia or outfit. Coyotes and bucks and deer were mainly the skins used because there were plenty of those in the Navajo Nation. For those of you out there who have seen videos of people hearing their voices being mimicked in the distance, yes, that is a true thing that actually happens. Another tactic that the skinwalkers like to use is dog whistles. So for those of you out there that don't know, the Navajo Nation is a very rural area. Homes are very spread out. Your nearest neighbor is a home.
So yeah, in this part, like obviously they're he's describing about how you can become a skinwalker, all the rituals, all of the ceremonies that you have to carry out. You do have to sacrifice a loved one, so it could be anything from your child to your lover, your mum, your dad, your grandparents, sister, brother, people that are very close to you. You would have to sacrifice one of them.
Yes,
some pretty gruesome stuff to be done to get to this level. And why would you want to? That's part one done. So we have got part two to this, then we've got another video after that, guys, but I thought that we'd just talk for a couple of seconds while the other video gets brought into the area. But yeah, really interesting. And there's a lot of misinformation that's put out about skinwalkers. People don't quite understand what skinwalkers are about and what they actually are. Do I have that theory that I think they're all witches and stuff? I don't believe that all witches would do this. Some of us are decent and good people, but there are people that are more into the
So for those of you
darker side,
you out there,
give themselves a certain energy and things like that. So,
yeah, I think just saying that to give an example, the type of people that would maybe do it. Yeah.
It's very rare to be heard of being done in our sort of countries and stuff like that. It's more the side, and
it was pretty gruesome.
People
I don't
that
think
not like
you would do that. Yeah, it is gruesome, isn't it?
no.
Very culturish.
Right. So if we start, not saying that all of them do that, guys, but there are probably certain people that have. So, and this guy here is somebody that's had family and actually been involved in sorting out things to do with skinwalkers. So he's very educated in it.
Yeah, they don't usually talk about it, so I'm glad.
No, it's really good that he's able to share that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I love the guy that gets my stuff, because obviously he's of that origin and stuff as well, so it's quite easy for him to find things. So would you like to put the next one up, please, sir?
that don't know, the Navajo Nation is a very rural area. Homes are very spread out. Your nearest neighbor is a mile to a half mile away. So you're kind of out there by yourself. And typically in the Navajo Nation homestead, you'll always have dogs, either sheep herding dogs or protection dogs. And dogs are very attuned to when darkness comes around. They're the protectors of the home. So late at night when you're by yourself in your hogan, there's no one around, and your dogs start barking in the middle of the night. But then they stop. You're like wondering, like, why? Why did my dog stop barking? One tool that these skinwalkers use is dog whistles. They use these whistles, or bone whistles, more specifically. They use these whistles to be able to hush up the dogs, to be able to sneak in close to the home. And then they put these powders, they do these songs and these ceremonies to be able to put your animals and protectors to sleep. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone out there in the Navajo Nation knows, and if you're watching this, I'm sure you have stories of being home late at night, sleeping, and then you hear footsteps on your roof. You hear rattles. You hear growls. You hear scratching on your door. For those of you out there, if you were to go to the Navajo Nation, I'm pretty sure about 90% of everybody in the Navajo Nation has experienced a Yanagloshi in their life. So, what are some of the weapons that the Skinwalker uses? A Skinwalker typically uses natural-based elements weapons. So, a Skinwalker is typically known as a grave robber or a Navajo witch, but there's a lot more to it. So typically a lot of us natural elements. They're grave robbers. They go to cemeteries, they dig up bodies, they grab the bones, and if they're still decaying, sometimes they use the flesh. A lot of the flesh from the human bones and body can be used as poisons to be able to bring sickness onto the people. So they make bone knives, bone darts. They grind up the bones after they collect them to make this powder. And it is said that these Yanagloshis can paralyze you. It's another one of their powers that they have. They can come up to you and paralyze you and you can't do anything about it. And they grab that ground up bone powder and they blow it in your face. And if you don't get a ceremony soon, that is a curse that is put upon you and you will die. It's very, very powerful. So everybody out there, be sure to watch out. So what other abilities do the Skinwalkers have? Other than paralyzing you, they have incredible speed. There's a lot of reports on the reservation of people driving on dirt roads going 50 to 75 miles an hour, or even 100 depending on what kind of road you're on. Not a lot of cops out there. But while these people are driving in the middle of the night coming back home from work or hauling wood, there were reports and signs of people running alongside their vehicles in the middle of the night. And the only thing that can run that fast and out there is a Yanagloshi. So who am I to talk about skinwalkers? Who am I to say what is and what isn't about a skinwalker? I know what a skinwalker is because we've dealt with them for many years. I've even had distant family relatives put on the skins and become a Yanagloshi. Couple ceremonies we've went out to families' homesteads to get rid of items of dead and past relatives. And inside those items were Yanagloshi regalia, skins, antlers, weapons, bone knives, bones itself, inside their belongings. So I know what skinwalkers can do to a person. Now I know you're not supposed to go out and talk about Yanagloshis or speak about Yanagloshis, but unless you know how to handle them. So I've had a lot of encounters with skinwalkers growing up, from a little kid staying out at my great-grandmother's house to hearing them in the middle of the nights, running out on a roof, knocking on the door, and copying our family members' voices from the outside to help draw us out. Now, these beings are very, very powerful to the normal person. But if you have the knowledge to be able to defend yourself against these monsters, you'll be alright. One of the biggest tools that these skinwalkers have against you is fear itself. Fear is their biggest tool that they have to be able to paralyze you, to gain control of you. And I know, middle of the night, you're by yourself on the reservation, and out there in the darkness, you see a figure stand up. You see a coyote stand up on its 2 feet. I know, it's very terrifying. You got to be a very special person to not be terrified of that. But there's a lot of protections that you can use to be able to protect yourself in your home. Ash is one of the big things that you can use from a fire after you pray with it, after you put cedar down, to put on yourself and around your home as well. There's a lot of ceremonial objects that a lot of indigenous people have that they use in ceremonies that can be used to protect yourself in your home. Utilize these paraphernalia, utilize your jish to be able to protect yourself and your families out there. So for everyone out there, if you see a TikTok video or a YouTube video about people talking about skinwalkers outside of the Navajo Nation, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, always make sure that you really do listen to the people that know what they're talking about. These creatures are very real in these native lands. They are very dangerous and not something for you to just go looking for and trying to search, believe me, because once they've got you there. So very, very real legend, and a lot of the native and the Navajo and people like that really believe in this sort of stuff, have witnessed things like this guy that you see in the video. So I'll leave your mind to be thinking and wondering about that video. But now we're going to show you a video from an older guy that you would know as an elder. Okay, so he's quite experienced. He's quite open about where he thinks that the skinwalker legend and energy comes from. Now, he is going to mention witchcraft and stuff like that, guys, but please don't think that he's associating everybody to doing that. He's associating the witches and the energies he's come across with his tribes in his country. Okay, so don't be offended, because it's not offensive, it's just him explaining. So if we could have the next video up, please, sir.
Or people the when individuals of any background. They don't have to be Navajo, they can be other tribes or even white people or black people. When they begin to ask about the ways of the in skinwalkers and other craft and the black arts and that, will get the spirits of anyone, because if you begin to learn just a little bit, that interest in learning will grow, and eventually you will be recruited by the evil one, and you will help the demons and that to spread the things that are wrong, and you will be in a position to cast evil spells and to say evil prayers and to say evil things against people, to do ugly things to society and to the people that we love around us. That's why the net don't like to share that type of information with anyone. Teneni kan dikat yeishin. Ako lagi dikat besalt antanititje. Ako bechidi ei hada beti nisa. Ako nda bechidi beti niniki ei hada betano dikat. Aninzi hat niniki aro dikat ante ata crash. Etat ei got egi ego ei hadi be poholni. Aro totikat ei nantla. Aro kodaro le ba ko nit ba ko hinten do le tenden kit an ti dat is card na do shi hikje na nes. Ako ei ha be chindi bet nike. Awat ego she be nant kenigi be kta hoid net do. In the traditional teachings of our people, the teachings about demons and the evil one and how they are able to operate among us as the five-fingered being. The evil one is the actual person or being that is in charge of all of the other evil beings, and those are the demons. And the evil one actually has his origin as known as the Black Yei or Yeishin, and his primary goal is to be an obstacle, to be an opposition or the adversary to the things that are good, that are made good by the holy people and given to us. And he does everything in his power to make sure that he has some way perverted their effort. And the demons are the ones that help him. And they are not physical in any way beings, but they do have influence over so many of the things that are around us in a physical setting. And they can do things that are of the supernatural nature and actually have an effect on us as the five-fingered being. Is what we are told. And the demons actually have about 4 different names that we apply to them as the way that they have power. And the witchcraft is one of them. And Atakash is another one. Ante is another one. There's a 4th one that I don't like to give a name to, and that is more of a physical type of an attack on the human body. If you are weak in a spiritual way, or an emotional way, or in a mental way, when those are combined, they can attack you. And it is that what they can inflict upon you is actually physical illnesses, and that can deteriorate your body to where it's almost nothing. And so those are the type of powers that they actually have. But in modern times, and that the influence and that the evil ones have, they take any type of form. They come in all sizes and shapes, either as physical five-fingered beings or even material type of things to distract us. And that is the main thing, is the adversary is always making the effort to distract us from the things that are right and good. And so it is that we have, in our own traditional teaching, what we have is the skinwalker. The skinwalkers are actually, they are actual beings or people, the five-fingered being that have great knowledge of the dark side. And they are able to do the flatline and to actually be between here and the next world and in spirit form, and able to do things to get around and do the evil that they can do. And that is very evil in so many ways. And so those are the ones that we call Yenans Doshi. And I don't like to talk about it, and the Neth don't like to talk about it. It is that they have available, or we have, and it is always for distraction. And one of the main things that they attack in our present world and among our Diné is the family. The families are also always under some type of influence by the evil one and demonic forces. And so we have their efforts to make our families not stable, not united. And it is that they have that influence. And so it destroys the family. Is the most important thing. That is that families are the most important.
Very interesting, man.
Don't know what's happened to the video. It's gone down. It should come back up in a minute, guys. But what he's explaining is you know, the information about the skinwalkers, how he feels that in their tribe they've been brought into characteristic, and he believes it is through like craft such as witchcraft, witchery, sorcery, sort of things, certain other tribal beliefs and stuff that have brought it in as well. So they're very secret people, and they're very about family. They're very about keeping their family safe, keeping their community safe. And when such a creature like this comes into their place of living, it does scare them, and it worries them, because obviously it represents different things. So
I was just going to say as well,
we'll be getting part 2 in a minute, but it's just
think about
important
the things that have to protect themselves from. I mean, if you think about all the different tribes,
they've learned many rituals, like they said, use sandalwood, cedar wood, ash from fires and from things like that, like are really good ways of keeping this energy out.
I'm just saying about the spiritual side of it as well. A lot of the time they know about the generational curses and different things that a lot of their tribes will have. So a lot of these type of rituals and things are done for generations upon generations and things. So maybe nowadays they won't do it as much as they used to do it in the olden times. But I do feel as if maybe in extreme circumstances, some of them may still practice that type of thing, you know?
Oh, very much so, from what I've been told. And from being over there, you can see that there is a lot of different types of people and stuff. And I very much believe that sort of stuff would still be going on. But these communities and these tribes have awareness of how to keep themselves safe. They've had family traditions for many centuries that they use and go by. And it's not just anybody that would come by this information as well. It's secret information. It's not information that they can just share with you. So to even be hearing them talk in these videos to this extent, you can understand these are very rare things. They wouldn't normally talk about it. It's normally something they wouldn't speak about. But there are some really good people that can, and these two guys definitely know their stuff. So we're going to be getting part 2 in a minute. I know that
to set the record straight, because there is a lot of misconceptions about what it is. Okay, I'll mute, sis.
But bring up the other one, please, sir. Part 2. This is the last video as well, guys, so this will be the last one. And then we'll have a little talk quickly after, and then we'll be ending the show. Just waiting for the video to get sent. Thank you.
Grandfathers and grandmothers in our own individual family unit. Is the client relationships on that we have. That's how far this is family unit goes among our people. The nene tlini is the way that we were told, is anybody that recognizes themselves as a person that had an existence before coming to this earth, and a person that is now on the surface of Mother Earth, who recognizes themselves as a five-fingered being and as a child of the holy people. But is what we are told, and even our songs and our prayers and that explain that to us. And so the idea that we have an adversary and all of the things that we have to experience in life, we always have a choice to follow the adversary or to follow the holy people. And the holy people always have a way for us to deal with these problems. We have protection songs, we have protection prayers, adjusting. Those are the things that we can have other people perform for us. But on our own, we can have our own protection prayer. We can have our own protection song. But those are the things that we can make for ourselves. And it is that we establish it actually by prayer. When you have prayers, you can have those songs. You can have those protection songs and protection prayers and protection way. And sometimes people may wear the jewelry that protects them. And they also can have herbs, or they might have tatatine, or inside of their corn pollen pouch, they might carry certain things that are there to protect them from the evil one. Is what we are told, that he does not take any sides as far as to say that he never will take the good side. He will always pick the evil side and try to influence us. And so there are many things in that are very dangerous to us. Things are invented for good purposes, and they will pervert those good purposes and make them useful for evil intent. There's a lot of technology today that's available to our young people, and that is not very good at all. It will control everything that they do and what they think and what they say, and even the clothes they wear, the food they eat, and the things that they will watch as far as in their environment. And that's how much power the evil one has. Is that what we are told, and that means that he has great influence and great powers. And we think that they are normal, but they are not. And so there's such things as infatuation with aliens, infatuation with Bigfoot. These things are all distractions. And people think that sometimes they are cute cartoon characters and cartoon things. But it is that they are actually real, but they are made real by the power of the evil one and the influence that he has, and the way that the demons are able to carry these distractions out. And it's very powerful and it's very real. And I don't like to give any more credit to it than that, but just be aware. And that's what they tell us in the traditional way. Observe and watch and learn. And then when you learn it, then you understand it and you learn how to avoid it. And be sure and be able to have your own protection song, your own protection prayer, and carry things that on you that remind you that you are the child of holy people and that they will protect you. And if you depend on them. And those are the things that we are told.
Definitely good.
So they word the shows, and he is so right in a lot of what he says. He's so right in so much of what he says. Like I said, he's not really saying that all witches are evil, just the ones that are doing the evil magic, the ones that he's personally come into communication with, he's tried to come into communication with, that they're witches of another level.
Yeah, definitely.
They're not like us. They are very dark, very evil. They'll go to any extent to get what they want, even taking life. So
they're not the peaceful witches.
Another type of evil and darkness. Well into.
They're the yang coming in.
No, we're all about love and light and goodness, and they're not of love and light and things.
Yeah,
and that's how these really terrifying, evil and bad creatures known as the skinwalkers have been formed. This is how they exist. Obviously by an animal being killed and sacrificed so that being skinned so that they can take the skin and take the form and go to their next practice and their next ritual to become stronger and to become greater. This is what their aim is.
I didn't know they had to sacrifice them that they were close to. Yeah. I didn't know they were had to sacrifice.
That's one of the things that they're supposed to do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, and it's nuts, guys. Definitely not down our road. Definitely not. No. But it is something that happens and goes on. These creatures are real, and these things do happen. And these native countries would know that. So, their beliefs and legends are no different to our beliefs and legends, are they? Really, if you think about it.
Yeah, it should be left to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That type of land should be left to
So I
the
do
Navajo.
hope that you have actually. Yeah, carry on, sis.
I was just saying that the land and things should be left to the native people. You know, we shouldn't go in there and start doing things that maybe go against their traditions and things, because it just makes disrupt over everything, you know. And I'm not just talking about Skinwalker Ranch, I'm talking about overall. You know, it should be left to these native people. I believe anyway, that's my opinion.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere. And nine
But that
times,
was all I was saying.
and 9 times out of 10, their lands and places that they reside in and are part of, they normally would do things to their land. So if you trespassed, then things would happen, you know, because it's just their way of protecting their land. Their land is secret and full of many histories and magic tale and all sorts of things. It would be very risky to just get in the hands of the wrong person. So there are some circumstances that they'll go to levels to do to keep their land safe, keep their tribe safe too. So I wouldn't
people
recommend you going and trying to find out without being invited. Yeah.
No thanks. No thank you.
Definitely not.
End up in a pot.
Yeah, no, it has been a really good show, and I've actually really enjoyed doing this show, and I've really enjoyed talking about Skinwalker Ranch with your sis and us educating everybody. No, it's been a really good evening, and we have got some shows coming up.
Definitely.
So 11 p.m. tomorrow is Sister Drew's show, which is a divination.
Sorry, I didn't hear it. It was breaking up. Tell you about my show. Right, okay, yes, my show tomorrow night, guys. It is now changed to a Tuesday.
I said, do you want to talk to him a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's just breaking up a lot, guys. I do apologise. Yeah, my show's now changed to a Tuesday, guys. It is still divination. We're going to be doing a little bit of pendulum tomorrow. Also the divination coin, which is yes, no answers. So if anybody has got any questions that they would like to ask their spirit guides or spirits in general, then definitely think about some questions for tomorrow night. It is going to be going through Within the Cauldron. It's going to be going through PWI. It's also going to be going through my own channel and a couple of other channels. So please, guys, do your best to check it out and share it out for me, please. And remember to please share out Within the Cauldron, which is the overall platform that we are all going out on just now. So I just want to say you are all welcome to come in and ask questions to your spirit guides tomorrow night. And I will also show you maybe a couple of other divination tools that we've got. And my sister Willow will also be joining me as my co-host. So thank you, Willow.
Yeah, no, and I'll show you my new cards that I got as well. I won't tell you what they are yet, but I got them the other day. So yeah, I'll show you them cards. They're really cool. So yeah, make sure that you tune in Tuesday for Sister 11 p.m. UK time, guys. Do not miss it. Okay. Obviously through the week you're going to have shows from Within the Cauldron, from Mike, from me. Obviously I'm going to be on with Sister Drew tomorrow as well to write down names for anyone that's wanting the coin flipping and the pendulum stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, just check us out, guys, and just keep an eye out on the channels and that, guys, because we're going to be being streamed out on, because Sister Drew's now part of the platform. So when they go live, it'll be live on my channel, her channel, and on the Cauldron channel and some other channels. Yeah, so you can catch on mine or Sisters live tomorrow and through the week. There's shows jam-packed every week now, guys, so just keep your eyes open. And yeah,
it's exciting.
We really enjoyed being here. We love you lot. And we've got a lot more stuff to bring you. Hope Sister Mystical will be on at some point for an interview. We will let you know nearer the time for that. But from us, we're going to say good night and send you lots of blessings, love and light. Guys, stay real and stay true and stay spooky. And remember that you're special and you're magical creatures. And I will talk to you all soon. Me and Sister Drew love you lots. Just going to play the intro out. I hope you like the intro and the outro, guys.
So cool, aren't they?
And we'll see you all very, very, very soon. Let's
See
see.
everybody.
Right, we're off, guys. Love and light.